Hello and welcome to a different style of video. This time I'll be doing a tier list of hunt blessings in SU. So there are a few reasons why I did this, despite me hating tier lists. It's first off, I haven't seen many people covering this. Like, there have been a few people covering this in like 1.0, but then back then we didn't really know much about the game. We also have a bunch of new characters now. By the way, now is 1.6, but by the time the video itself releases, it will almost certainly be 2.0. But yeah, we have a lot of new characters benefiting from certain paths. So, well, I'll get into the methodology itself now. So, first off, I am going to be evaluating this primarily off Hunt being your main path. I chose Hunt first is because this is a overall, in my opinion, very good path. A lot of these blessings are good damage amplifying blessings even off path. I guess I'll just go over the tiers now. So S is it's defining. You always pick this even if it's off path, no matter what. There is one blessing in particular that's in S tier in Hunt, which is the main reason why I chose it first. Just so that for future rankings, I will have a scale of how good an S tier is. Yeah, so A tier is path defining, or it's pretty good off path. Like, A tier is the type of blessing that's like, it's an absolute must have for that path. Like in this case, Hunt. Like, it's a must have for a Hunt run. B is good on path or okay off path. It's like above average compared to all other blessings, including the off path ones. Or like it's okay if you pick it off path. Then C is it's okay on path, or its benefits are just way too small to notice. And then D just pollutes the pool of blessings. I hope I never have to put anything in D, and I frankly don't think I will. So yeah, let's get on with the ranking. I'll start with go by rarity, then by alphabetical order. So yeah, let's start. First off, Celestial Annihilation. When a character breaks an enemy's weakness, their action advances forward by 100% and increases the damage dealt by their next attack by 50%. When enhanced, it increases damage dealt by 75%. Additionally, if the weakness broken enemy is an elite or a boss, it advances the whole team. So this one is high A tier. Like, this is really, really good. Like, action advances, it's insanely good. Like, breaking a weakness, it's not super hard to do. You're gonna be aiming for it anyway most of the time. The damage boost, well, it's good itself, yeah. When enhanced, action advancing the whole team is busted AF, obviously. So, yeah, I don't think there's much else to say. Also, I should note that, unlike the other 3-star action advance, this is the most controlled 100% action advance you have in Hunt. Like, you get to choose when to weakness break. Like, you can actively choose to use a weaker attack on your support, so it doesn't weakness break and steal the action advance from your main DPS. It is very good. So yeah, not much else to say. It's really, really good. So next, Imperial Reign. When a character's turn begins, they gain 1 stack of crit boost. When enhanced, it increases the stack limit of crit boost to 12. I'll put it in A tier, right after Celestial Annihilation. So, yeah, I should explain what crit boost does for those who don't know, though most of you should probably know. So, crit boost is, well, it's a boost specific to this and the other remaining 3-star Hunt blessing. What it does is that it increases your crit rate by 6% and crit damage by 12%. And, it just rolls over to your next character's turn without limit. How it is removed is when an enemy hits any ally. It doesn't matter if they take no damage. If they get hit, they just lose crit boost. So yeah, with that said, Imperial Rain, it gives crit boost. Crit boost is specifically suited to hunt in that it's not based on your turns like most buffs are. In fact, you want to get more turns with this. The more turns you have, the more boosts. So yeah, at max, oh yeah, by default max is 8 stacks. So at max, that is a massive 48% crit rate and 96% for crit damage. Like, yeah, 48% crit rate is insane. Like, most DPSs you probably want about 50-ish% crit rate on the lower end, and so it can result in overcrit, but don't worry, overcrit will be fixed with another blessing later on. But yeah, max crit boost stacks at 12, it'll be at 72% crit rate, 144% crit damage. Needless to say, this is an insane amount of crit boost. And when enhanced, well, 12 stacks of crit boost it's very worth enhancing. Yeah, it's just good. Crit, it's an insane amount of crit. And Hunt, like, the whole shtick of Hunt is that it's always your turn. Like, you keep on action advancing, killing enemies. Yeah, so basically, your enemies will never hit you. And this is the epitome of that playstyle. So yeah, next. Imperishable Victory. After a character defeats an enemy, their action is advanced by 100%. At the beginning of their next turn, they get 4 stacks of crit boost. So yeah, I'll place this in between the other 2 3-star blessings. So, this one is, well, when you kill an enemy, you get an action advance. When enhanced, usually it doesn't really matter that much. When you enhance Imperishable Victory and Imperial Reign, basically after you kill an enemy, you immediately get max crit boost. But a lot of the time, 7 stacks is really overkill. I find, at least. Like, you don't really need the immediacy of 7. Like, yeah, you can just build it up over time. 4 is, like, enough already. I should also note that if you kill multiple enemies with 1 attack, the action advance will only trigger once, obviously. And also, you only get 4 or 7 stacks of crit boost, depending on whether it's enhanced. Basically, the crit boost doesn't stack even further. Like, you won't get 8 stacks of crit boost if you kill 2 enemies. So, yeah, it's good. These two just give you endless turns. So next, onto the 2-star blessings. Adept's Bow. When any ally uses their ultimate, they can inherit crit boost and increase the number of crit boost stacks by 1. When enhanced, it also affects follow-up attacks. Okay, I'm gonna put this in A tier as well. There are, like, almost every DPS character uses their ult and would appreciate having the crit boost on their ult. I don't think there's a single one that isn't, except like the dot ones, which is like basically Kafka, and maybe Black Swan when she comes out. But yeah, you just want more crit. It turns your crit, because, oh yeah, in case this is confusing at all, I should have also stated that crit boost does not by default work with ultimates or follow-ups. They only work for your main attack. So this, fixes that issue. When enhanced, it enables follow-up users like Topaz and Ratio. Having an insane amount of crit on your follow-ups is really good. So next, Archery Duel. When a character's turn begins, every stack of crit boost restores health equal to 5% of their max health. And then when enhanced, it also triggers upon using an ult. Unfortunately, no follow-up though. So this one, I'd say B. Your whole goal is to basically outspeed and kill everything. So the health recovery, I guess it can help with dots. Though I think it triggers before dots. I don't know, actually. I haven't really tested it or paid that much attention. I usually pick this mostly for the resonance formations. I guess it could be helpful for like Blade, for like the abundance blessings that skill off your current HP, but you know, yeah, you probably want to enhance those anyway. But yeah, it's okay, I guess. Next, Auspicious Star. When a character defeats an enemy, regenerates energy equals to 60% of the character's max energy. When enhanced, it fully regenerates. Okay, this is the S tier blessing I was talking about. This is universally insanely OP. Every single DPS, without exception, wants their ultimate. Actually, scratch that. Every single character, period, wants their ult. The only exception is like Luocha, when the enemy has no debuffs, but even then it can get Abyss Flower, can heal if the healing field's already up, it can inflict imaginary weakness break. So it's always good, unconditionally insane. Also, I should note, for like the effect in general, how it interacts with Argenti is that it goes based off the 180 energy ult. So when enhanced, every kill from Argenti gets a fully recharged enhanced ult, which is... Do I have to explain how that is busted? Even on boss battles, I think all 3 bosses in Golden Years can summon peons. Or well, more enemies. I call them peons out of Battle Cat's habits. But yeah, a lot of elites can also summon peons. Things like Arumaton Gatekeeper. We have, Frigid Prowler. There's the Automaton Grizzly, I think. Yeah, there's just a bunch of summoning. Yeah, either way. Also in the SU run, like, personally I like to save ults for no reason. And Auspicious Star just makes it so that I just don't have to. I can just freely use ult since I'm getting so much energy back anyway. So yeah, it's just really, really insanely good. Like, this is better than all the 3-star blessings in my opinion. This is better than most on-path 3-star blessings. I don't think I can overstate how goddamn broken this blessing is. And it's a 2-star too. You can get it as your first blessing. Which is just... it's so insane. So yeah, next. Battle against the old foe. If a character has crit boost and is over-critting, every 1% excess crit rate can be converted to 3% excess crit damage. Up to 150%. So about 50% extra crit rate. I'd say this is A tier on par with the Depth's Bow. This is really, really insane. Like, I was talking about how overcrit is maybe a problem. But this is actually a better deal than a 1-to-2 crit ratio. This is a 1-to-3 ratio. Like, granted, you can only go up to like 150% crit rate, even when accounting for overcrit, but yeah, even then, this is just a lot of free crit damage, since most of the time you will be overcritting. Between the crit rate boosts from other Hunt Blessing, crit boost, your natural crit rate, which naturally you want to build it at like 50 to 70-ish. Yeah, it's just really good. When enhanced, it also increases crit damage by an additional amount equal to the number of crit boost stacks. I don't remember what the exact number is, and well, there isn't enough space on the screenshot to show it. But I remember the new max is also 200% extra crit damage. It's just a lot of extra crit damage. So yeah, next. Ejecting the Borisin. After every 6 turns across all allies, one character advances their action immediately. Cannot be triggered repeatedly by the same character. Then when enhanced, the initial cooldown is reduced by 5, so basically your first character will immediately action advance, and then every 5 turns after that. So yeah, I'll be putting in B tier. So yeah, this is extra actions, I guess. It's okay, it's good, I guess. The thing is, about, say, 70% of the time, this is gonna be advancing a support's action instead of your hyper carry. Like, obviously, if you're using like a dual DPS team, like a Jingliu Blade team, then you get, more chances to hit your actual DPS character. But yeah, it's not exactly reliable. And also for supports that skill off of their turns, like Estelle, Luocha, and Run Mei, Yeah, this will burn through their support turns, effectively just reducing uptime, although they do get more energy for what it's worth. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's not worth speed tuning your entire team to this. Sometimes it can be very clutch because there is another blessing that can unconditionally just advance your action by 100%. This is like the only one. If you're facing just one big boss, this is the only thing that can action advance by 100%. If you ejecting the Barson on Bronya, Bronya gets her second turn before the character she skills, so yeah. Yeah, next. Flowing Mist. When the same character acts consecutively, their attack increases by 40% for the rest of the battle, stacking up to 2 times. And when enhanced, whenever they act consecutively, they also have a 50% fixed chance to recover a skill point. Well, the hunt path was made before propagation, so the skill point issues were a thing back then. I'll place this above ejecting the Barson, I think. Like, if you're running, say, Jingliu, this is basically a free, immediate 40% attack buff. When combined with other hunt blessings, it's also free 80% attack buff over time. You know, it ramps up pretty quickly. But yeah, the skill point is pretty mediocre nowadays, with propagation's existence being so much better for skill point generation. But yeah, it can be decent, I guess. So yeah, next, I guess. Monster Expelling Rainbow. When a character defeats an enemy, restores their HP equal to 48% of their max. And then when enhanced, when it's weakness breaking, it's 18%. Basically, if when enhanced they toss on the effect of a 1-star abundance blessing on top of it, I'd say B tier. Like, once again, it's not really a big deal. Your whole game plan is outspeed and kill everyone. You won't really need healing. And this is also more conditional than Archery Duel, since Archery Duel is basically whenever any ally's turn begins. Granted, this heal is massive, and this is also absolutely massive for solo runs. Like, if you're insane enough to do a solo run for like Swarm 5 or Golden Gears Conundrum 12 or something like that, if you're insane enough to do it, this is an insanely important piece for it. I speak from experience from doing that one Clara solo run that you should definitely go check out, by the way. Yeah, because in the solo run, over time your health will enemies will eventually get attacks off over time in the early game. So like having this early, basically just completely negating that chip damage over time from enemies early game, it's immensely helpful for solo runs, but other than that, it's pretty mediocre. So yeah. Next, 1-star blessings. Blessed Bow and Arrow. At the beginning of a character's turn, receives an attack boost equal to 10% of the last acting ally's attack. This will last until the next turn starts. I think I'm putting this in C. It's not that good. I haven't really taken note of how this works. I haven't really went and checked the buff screen and see Blessed Bow and Arrow boosting who's based on who's attack. But based on how this is worded, I think it's like in the action bar at the top left, you can see your 4 characters. Like the one, basically it would be the one that just acted. Basically, if you say have your current character is say Jingliu, and then you have say Ranmei, Blade, and Luocha, with Luocha having just acted. Based on my understanding of the wording, this means it would boost Jingliu's attack based off of Luocha's attack, since Luocha is the furthest down, would be the furthest down in the action value, since he just acted. But yeah, this is not very good. Either you're boosting the attack of a support, which doesn't really matter, or you're boosting the attack of a DPS based on scaling off of a character who usually doesn't scale off attack, like your supports. Like, okay, I guess you can build attack on your supports, but like if it's a healer, if it's a non-Luocha healer, then yeah, you're losing out. But I guess to be fair, Luocha and Tingyun both scale off attack, and those are pretty common teammates, so yeah, I guess it can be okay, but even then, it's only 10%, and when enhanced 15%, it's not a big buff. It's a 1-star blessing, it's not really that good. So yeah, this is like the epitome of benefits are too small to notice blessing. So yeah, next, catastrophic consolation. At the end of a character's turn, their next action is advance forward by 8%, when enhanced 12%. Okay, I'd say this is about C, above Blessed Bow and Arrow. So this, I don't really know how to evaluate this. I think the easiest way would be basically multiplying their speed by a factor of 100 over 92, or when you simplify the fraction, it's 25 over 23, so it's like, it's okay. Or when enhanced, it's like 25 over 22, you know, it's okay, it's effectively a speed boost after the first turn, and yeah, it's an okay speed boost. 25 over 22 increases is about a 13% increase, and 25 over 23 is about 8%. Basically an 8% increase speed boost. Yeah, it's okay. Like it's a speed boost. It lets you outspeed things better. There's not much else to say, really. So yeah, next. Consolation Surge. Upon entering battle, character speed increases by 30% until they're attacked. When enhanced, 45%. Okay, this one I'm gonna place, I think, B tier. Like at the bottom of B tier. This basically only starts like at the very beginning of this battle. But the thing is, like I said a few times already, the whole shtick of Hunt is that you just outspeed and kill everything. But if the initial enemies outspeed you and you don't get a chance to get the action advances, that can be all for moots. And this provides an absolutely massive speed boost. Most of the time, this is 30 speeds. That's more than the speed boots. It's absolutely ridiculous speed boost. And then when it has 45%, at that point, trust me, the enemy will not be moving before you. Like, you will move before the enemy. Initially, at least. Like, I mean, this can be a bit finicky if you're speed tuning, like, especially with Bronya or Yukong. Sometimes if your Bronya if your DPS gets hit but your Bronya doesn't, and then you're left with a fast Bronya and a slow DPS. And also the other way around for Yukong is your Yukong gets hit and your DPS doesn't, yeah. You won't be able to make use of that massive attack and crit buff. But yeah, other than that, it's good, I guess. It's good. There's not much else to say. Next. Shrewd Arrangement. Increases crit damage by 20%. When enhanced, 30%. Well, this is B tier. I'd say after Constellation Surge. Simple crit boost. There really isn't much to add. Like, really isn't. Yeah, that's all. Next. Skirting Life and Death increases crit rate by 11% when enhanced 16%. Okay, this one is worth talking about a bit more. So basically, this is basically the same as Shrewd Arrangement, but crit rate instead of crit damage. In terms of crit value, it's slightly more, I guess. And well, for Swarm Disaster and Golden Gears, the path boost for Hunt is crit damage. So a crit rate boost will be valued much more than a crit damage boost because of diminishing. And even when it's not diminishing marginal returns, like even when it's just regular gameplay, like generally you build your characters like 50 to 70% crit rate, I think. So it's like plus 11% makes it a bit more consistent. I mean, it's nice. And then also it can work with what's it called again? Battle against the old foe to turn the excess into crit damage for even more crit damage than Shrewd Arrangement. Yeah, it's just good. Next, Thundering Chariot. This is C tier, I think. After a character inflicts weakness break to an enemy, it delays it by an additional 20%, when enhanced 30%. Okay, I guess this can help you in outspeeding things, but it's not really that good. Like, it's okay. Delays action more, meaning you get to outspeed better, I guess, but yeah. It's not really that big of a deal. 20% action delay, okay, I guess it's something, but not that good compared to others. I think it's better than Blessed Bow and Arrow, though. So, yeah. Next. Boss 2. Vaulting Ambition. At the beginning of a character's turn, they regenerate 4 energy when enhanced 6 energy. Okay, this one's actually pretty good. I think this is solid B tier. I think above Archery Duel. Like I said, Hunt is you outspeed and you kill. Sometimes there are annoying interactions where it's like barely not enough energy. It's like, yeah, just patch that up. And well, I mean, with Auspicious Star, the value of this is extremely diminished. Actually, you know what? Speaking of Auspicious Star, I think I'm just gonna put this below the 2 health restoring ones. Like, the thing is, if you're running this on path, you will almost certainly have Auspicious Star as well. And Auspicious Star just devalues this so much. Since you're getting so much energy back anyway, energy's not a problem. It's like, unless you have like Brain in the Vat or something, it's not a big deal. It really isn't. So yeah, I mean, without Auspicious Star on its own, like, paired with like other action advances with like injecting the Borson and the Hunt 3-star ones, like, you can stack up a lot of energy very quickly for free. Like, for energy, it's like, it's good. I mean, it's not that good, but it's absolutely unconditional and just pretty good. Oh yeah, I should have also talked about how these two are absolutely unconditional, which is also a part of the reason why they're B and not C, but yeah. Next. Well, last. Vermeil Bow and White Arrow. For every Hunt Blessing, increases speed by 3%, stacking up to 6 times. When enhanced, increases by 4%, stacking 9 times. Okay, this one I'd say the top of the 1-star B tiers. The top of B tier 1 stars. So yeah, a speed boost. If you're running this on path, it's basically a free 18% unconditional speed boost. When enhanced, it's a free 36% unconditional speed boost. It's good. That's all there is to it. It's just good. Like, compared to Consolation Surge, this is it's less speed boost, but like, it's also unconditional. When off path, this is much worse, but we're evaluating primarily on path. So yeah, it's good. It increases speed, lets you outspeed and kill things more. So yeah, I'll review the overall path now. So Hunt is it's a great path in my opinion. Like there's these 3 C tier blessings which are pretty mediocre, but they're still useful. Except Blessed Bow and Arrow, that one's barely noticeable. But yeah, the other 2. All other Hunt blessings are pretty useful. Like, more speed is almost always appreciated unless you're running specifically Clara. And more crit is always appreciated unless you're running Nihility. More actions is always appreciated unless you're Clara as well. More attack is always appreciated unless you're Blade. But yeah, either way, it's just good. It's just an overall good path filled with just generally versatile blessings. Like, I guess Flowing Mist could be like a bit iffy. It can be a bit conditional if you're not running Xingliu or other Hunt blessings, and ejecting the Barson can be really annoying sometimes, where it just burns through your support's turns and burns out their turn-based boss like Watcha's Healing Field and possibly Asta's Charging Stacks and or Ramei's buff. But yeah, I'm ranting. Yeah, overall, these 3 Hunt Blessings are great off path. Like, this is a great DPS path. Like, if you want to make an underdog character work, this is the path to go. Also, Auspicious Star single-handedly makes this path really good. Auspicious Star, just so good. Just energy is so good. It's unconditionally good. Like, every character wants their ult. There's no Yoimiya Star Rail yet. Every character wants to use their ult. So yeah, some characters that are good with Hunt is basically the entire cost. Except Nihility. The entire cost except Nihility. Like, all the DPS except Nihility is good on Hunt. And I guess Tincture and Imbiber Lune, since they'll use too many skill points unless you run Propagation main path. But even then, you still want Hunt off paths once you got your skill point generation secure with the Propagation Resonance and whatnot. Other than that, I mean, some characters can't really utilize certain parts of Hunt well. Like I said earlier, Nihility can't use the crit buffs. Clara can't use the speed and action advances. Blade can't use the attack. But other than that, every other character can do well. Every other character skills off attack and crit. So yeah, that's all for this Hunt Blessing tier list. Next is Preservation, for no particular reason, chosen rather arbitrarily. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, you know the drill. Alright, good enough. Bye.